Hello Zion House, hello beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Life in Eldorado. It's been a while. Yes, so I've not picked up my camera in months now because I've been going through some health challenges and I had to have a major procedure done. So today is day 8 after my hysterectomy surgery, and I'm just thankful to God for life. And I just thought I would have a conversation and just to share with you my journey, and also to thank all those who made YouTube videos to help me prepare for this major step. It was quite calming for me to know that there were some tips and tricks, things that I could do to prepare, for something I've never experienced before. And there were many sisters on YouTube from all over the world sharing their tips, sharing the things to pack to the hospital, the things to pack for recovery, and they've been quite helpful. And today I just wanted to share from that place, and also to share the things that really worked for me and those that didn't quite work well for me. Okay, so let's get into it. So first and foremost, why did I have to go through this procedure? So I already knew that I had fibroids right from when I had my first child about 17 years ago, but I'm sure it was just like the size of a peanut, and maybe it was just one or a few, but over time, specifically in 2018, I was on the IUD, the Mirena IUD, and it was time for a replacement. So I would usually go to the IUD clinic here in Calgary, but then it was so difficult for the OBGYN there to take it out and replace it. So I was referred to an OBGYN in the main hospital at the time, and I've been managing this situation since then. It didn't give me any problems aside that every time they did a pelvic exam or an ultrasound, they could see it in the scan, and they were small, so I had no problems aside my regular cycle and the pain, and the bleeding that comes with it, but nothing outrageous. But then things changed real quickly when I could tell that the Mirena was not working. It wasn't doing its job. So 2018, I had a surgery to replace it, and it was supposed to be in for 5 years. But then it only worked for about 3, because then the pain increased, especially major cramping on my back and lots of bleeding. And now with big blood clots, it was really frustrating. And it was as though the fibroids would keep pulling up the Mirena. Sometimes it's supposed to be like in mid cavity in the uterus, but because of the multiple fibroids, it was like the efficacy of the Mirena wasn't quite strong. So the OBGYN had advised again last year, 2022, to replace the Mirena, which we did in June 2022. But then things went downhill from there, and then I started this cycle of bleeding for days straight. So I would bleed 20 days straight. It was quite bad and intense, and it was quite bad and intense, and I had to reach out again to the OBGYN and have a plan of action. And the plan of action was to try me on the Lupron depot shots, which when I went online and I saw the side effects and people's experiences, some went as far as saying, oh, it is poison, don't take the Lupron shot. But I couldn't continue to bleed and be tired all the time. Borderline anemia, I couldn't afford that. So I decided to go on the Lupron shot from December 2022. So we were to try it for 3 months, and it was meant to shrink the fibroids so then I could have my procedure done. But well, the Lupron worked for me, you know, aside the night sweats and, you know, the hot flashes I would have, because it literally takes you into like menopause, you know. But I was able to manage. People gave tips, like I bought a hand fan, not a hand fan, the electric fan, you know, the one that you plug in, and I would use that at night and it worked. And I got lots of cotton PJs, you know, that could breathe easy. So I was able to manage it. But then the last ultrasound that I did in November had shown that the fibroids were like doubled in size and they were now all over the uterus. It was quite bad. And the cramping, I would sit and I would literally feel the weight. You know, it felt like, you know, the head of a baby had engaged, you know, when you are about to give birth. You know, it was just unpleasant. Some days it would be as though butterflies are moving. You know, the feeling you get at about 5 months pregnancy. And at the time, the OBGYN actually told me my uterus size was about 24 weeks pregnancy. So that was quite large. And the Lupron depot shots was supposed to reduce and shrink the fibroids so that the hysterectomy surgery could be easy when it will be done. So well, I took the shots till end of February, and then my surgery was scheduled for March, you know. So I started preparing, and thanks to all the people that shared their stories, their experiences, it helped calm my nerves a bit, and it helped me somewhat prepare for the procedure. And but apparently it didn't hold out. It was supposed to be on the 21st, a Tuesday, 21st of March. But then there was a crisis at the hospital, which I was grateful for, because I realized I was quite physically tired on the day of the surgery. You know, there was some flooding situation at the hospital, and the surgical lab was flooded and damaged. So all surgeries that day were cancelled, which was a blessing in disguise, because I was rescheduled for 4 days later and I was physically stronger for the procedure. So on surgery day, I went out, and it was quite busy at the hospital that day. And there was this God-sent grandma that had her bed beside mine in the waiting room on the OR floor, and she was just cracking everybody up. She was funny, you know. She was sharing her life experiences. She was asking us about what we had arranged for leave with pay and all that, you know. So that helped calm nerves before the major procedure. And I had a really great medical team, a 7-man team, the 2 surgeons, anesthesiologists, and, you know, other people that were helping that day in the operating room. And the surgery lasted about 2 hours. I can't recollect now. I'm still asking my husband, so what happened between when you left me and when you came back to the ward? Because I have zero recollection of what happened in the recovery room, and I must have been in the recovery room for about 2 hours. But I remember the last surgery that I had in June. It was tough coming back to myself. It took like over 24 hours before I could really feel myself again. So I had mentioned that to the anesthesiologist, and he told me, oh, we put you on narcotics, so it's not easy on the body, and it's possible for you to wake up after surgery and remember nothing, but that balance is key, and it was going to do a fine job. And a fine job it did, because I opened my eyes in the ward when my husband called my children. It was so funny. I saw my son on the screen, and the first thing I asked was if he had submitted his calculus assignment that was due. you know, and everybody laughed because they were like, oh, she's back. If you could remember that, then you're back, you know. And it's been day in, day out. It was tough at the hospital, you know, the 24 hours after surgery. The hospital was stretched thin with people, with lots of patients, so things were moving so quickly. The nurses were on my case. They just kept coming. I was drowsy, you know, very druggy on the meds that I was on. I was on the hydromorphine, you know, and it was making me quite sleepy, but the nurses kept coming every hour. You want to pee, you want to pee. It took a long time. At a point, and one of the nurses brought the catheter and was able to drain out a whole lot because they kept doing the bladder scan and the bladder was full and they didn't want to risk the incision coming open, you know. So I get that, but it was quite stressful for me as the patient. They tried to do their job, but then it was a tough 24 hours after surgery. But by 1 a.m. the following day, which was the 25th, I was able to pee, and it's been smooth sailing since then. And then they were asking, oh, you have to pass gas, and that didn't happen. They discharged me the following day, but the gas came on day 4, and then bowel movement came on day 5. So I met all those milestones, and I'm just so grateful to God and to my support system. My husband, my family, my sister flew in all the way from the US to be with me. So it has been really, really great. She's been so helpful. So you know the drill. They say you can't bend, you can't lift heavy stuff. So which is part of normal life. So, but I've not had to do that because I have great people around me. Lots of friends sending edible arrangements and food, you know, home cooked meals, and it has just been really, really great. Thank you to everyone. If you're watching this, thank you. I appreciate you all. So let's get to it. What were the things that I got before surgery? So the first thing that most people recommended was the belly binder. You know, because I had an incision like the CS incision. So they recommended, oh, wear the belly binder right from the hospital. But the pain is intense at the incision site. So I have the belly binder. This one I got on Amazon. Not sure if the camera can pick this. Yes. And it is the Orthotics belly binder. And, I've not used it. Maybe when I'm well enough, maybe I will try it. So this is what it really looks like. It looks a little comfortable, but still I cannot just imagine putting this on that incision. And to be honest, looking at my belly, since the uterus came out, it's like my belly is flatter than it was before. And so I've not had to use this. So belly binder, if you want to get one, it's quite pricey. I think I got it almost $50 for this on Amazon, but I've not used it. Maybe it'll be useful later, I don't know, but that's one thing that I have not used. Okay, just a second, I forgot something very important. I'll be right back. And then the next thing is this really soft pillow. This one has been in use since day 1 of surgery. I took it to the hospital. No, I didn't use at the hospital. I didn't need it. I had enough pillows on my hospital bed. But this has been a real good purchase. And so I got it on Amazon as well. And the most Interesting thing about it was it came with a card, and the card read "Get well soon." I thought it was a really nice touch. And the back sides reads, "I said a prayer for you today, that God will touch you with his healing hand and give you the comfort and peace you need to get through. Just reach out to us anytime. We are here for you. Get well soon." I thought that was a really, really nice touch. So what is it about this pillow? You might not need it, because I'm sure most people have soft pillows like this in their house, that you can just use. I just keep it right on the belly where the incision is, and it just gives a little bit of relief. And especially it'll be useful when I start driving, so I can just put it before putting on the seatbelt. But the really cool thing about this pillow is that it has a slit inside of it. There's a slit, you can see, and in there you are supposed to put in your ice pack. So this ice pack, I got it 4-pack, is the All Set Health hot cold pack, and it came in a pack of 4, and this has been so helpful as well. So this just goes right into that slit, and you close it up, and then you put on the belly. And it's been the most useful of everything that I got. So for sure, get this. I'll try to put in the links, so if you're looking for something like this. So great buy, this one. And then the next thing I would like to show you is, I saw some people recommended getting a big gel ice pack, also from Amazon. I don't know if I can still return this one. It's the Rester's Choice. It relieves pain easily, and I was supposed to use this for back pain because I always had cramping on my back. But apparently the procedure had fixed my back pain, because I've not had one single cramp on my back since I had this procedure done. So this big gel ice pack is still in its original packaging, not used. So for me, it wasn't useful, but maybe other people will find it useful. And next up is the Cottonelle adult wipes. So I got a box of this. I've not used it quite much, but for convenience sake, you could use it to wipe your body. Those early days, I couldn't get a shower until like day 3, because then I could bear, the pain was tolerable, and I could go in the shower. I do not have a shower, I have a bathtub. So the biggest challenge was how I was going to raise myself over the bathtub, to get a shower standing. But well, this was helpful for some days. They also gave me a wash thing at the hospital. It's called the Sprom. They gave me that with this blue cloth to wipe me up at the hospital. So I just wet the blue cloth, spray this Sprom on it, and wipe my body. And it says it's a skin cleanser. It's a no rinse body wash, shampoo, and incontinent cleanser. And that worked in the hospital. But I get showers every day, so I was so relieved when I was able to get in the shower on day 3, because I just felt really dirty. Even though this did the trick, I wasn't smelling bad, but to myself I was. And so I had to get a shower. So if you need this, or if you would ask when you go to the hospital, it's called Sprom, and it's the no rinse body wash, shampoo, and incontinent cleanser for the early days after surgery. That worked quite good as well. Then I got myself this table. So it's like for food or for doing some work, on the computer. I've not used it quite much, to be honest, because They say walk around, walk around. In the hospital, there were posters everywhere that said mobility is the best medicine. And that's what I've been practicing. So I try to get up in the morning, push through pain, but don't push too hard. So I've not used this much, but this is it. With the feet, you can see padded, and you just need to put this on the bed, and you can put your food on it. It has a cup slot as well, and also another slot for like your phone, your iPad, so it was useful. But then I didn't have, when I'm working on my laptop on my bed before, I just had a small cardboard that I will place on my lap. So this would replace that. This is fancy. This costs like $50 as well, so a little bit pricey, but it can also be used to raise yourself up on a table, or can be used for other uses. So I won't say this was bad, but for me, I've been moving around and I've not needed it that much. I put my plate on that small pillow that I showed you earlier, and that has worked fine for me. And then now coming up to the smaller stuff. So I also got polysporin, because I got the hospital notes, things to prepare, how to prepare for your surgery, and they said, oh, if there is itching along the sides, you could use this. But then my discharge note said not to use the polysporin, and I've not had need for it. I just put the cold compress with the pillow on my belly for temporary relief, and I keep walking through the medication. You alternate between the Tylenol and the Advil, and that has been helpful as well. And then next up was the Gas X. So I got one on Amazon, then I found it in my local Shoppers Drug Mart as well. So it's the Gas X Extra Strength, but I only took like 4 of this. So I would say this is needful, because you want to stop the gas from moving through your body. I don't even know if they pass gas in my own body, though everybody says that they do that for the surgery, but I didn't really feel that they passed any tube down, and I didn't remember to ask the surgeon afterwards. Maybe I'll ask during my post-op appointment, which will be in like 5 weeks. But chewable, it didn't taste bad. It was the cherry flavor, so I recommend that. Most people recommended that. Maybe that's why I could have the bowel movement easily, because this worked. And also I had the Restora Lax, which is a laxative. So I used like 4 of this. It came in a pack of 10, but I used just like 4, and it did the trick. By day 6, I was almost having diarrhea with loose stools, so I had to stop this immediately. So, and I'm okay now, moving my bowels easily, like twice a day, so that's pretty good. And then I got myself this lemon drops. They said cough drops. I could feel dry in my throat afterwards, so all the people that recommended to get the lemon cough drops, they were right. Or any lozenges. I had this Ricola lemon mint cough drops, and I had my Strepsils, so it worked. Yeah, it helped to relieve the throat as well. And then I got myself some mints also for the throat, because I kept getting dry in my throat. So this was just a pack of Lifesaver mints, and I just used a few. And then I got myself some snacks, because I started getting hungry real quickly after surgery, and so I like the digestive biscuits, so I got myself a pack of that. And also I got myself the chewy granola bars, the fruit and nut. I like those soft chewy granola bars. I got myself a pack of that, and I also got myself a pack of unsalted top crackers. So those were good for when I needed to snack real quick, because I was taking the medication back to back, and sometimes, you know, you don't want to take them on an empty stomach. So I had that, and then I had gum. Yeah, that helped in the hospital when I was not peeing. They told me to chew on gum, it will help. Perhaps it did, I don't know, but I got that as well. I got myself a Bounty bar. I love the Bounty, but I've not had any urge to take it. I've not been craving any sweets, so it's still there, you know, and that's it. And I got myself a pack of plantain chips as well. I still have that in there. This is day 8. I don't snack that often. So, and then I'm a Christian. I like to take my Holy Communion, so I got these disposable ones, you know, like the ones they give you in church. I always have this at home, so I take it as often as I need it, you know. And that's it. It's been a journey, you know. I've been waiting for when there will be absolutely no pain, but my OBGYN, the best of the best, you know. She's more like family now, because we've been together for like 8 years, you know. She calls even after our regular office hours to check on me. She's been so great and so helpful, you know. And that's it. I'm recovering well. She told me the pain will never really go, you know, it will just keep getting better. And sometimes it could get a little bit worse as I continue to use my body. But I believe staying positive, saying my prayers, I know in a short while, all this will be behind me. But do I have any regrets going through this procedure? No. You know, I'm grateful to God. I already have 2 children. They're healthy. They're doing well. I know it's not the same for every woman out there, so my heart goes out to all those who really want children and were not able to before having this procedure. Or if you've been told that you need this procedure, your health is important. The emotions, yeah, you would have to go through it, but God makes everything beautiful in His time. You know, whether you have a biological child or not, your life is valid, it is beautiful, and all will be well with you. But as a woman, you should not continue to live in pain, bleeding, if this is the best line of course for you. Take courage. I've done it. I'm glad that I did. And I know that I'm going to be well enough in a few weeks to months. And I just thought I'll record this to encourage someone out there, because many did their recordings and it helped me a whole lot to prepare for mine. So I hope you've been able to learn a thing or two, and if this has helped you, like, share, subscribe, give this a thumbs up. And that's been my journey through hysterectomy. I'm documenting my journey and will probably present it in another format in the near future. But on this episode of Life in Eldorado, it's me giving my health update, and I hope to be able to record more and more videos as I get better. Thanks for watching, and thanks for sticking around with me here on Life in Eldorado. Bye for now.